Hey guys, it's me, and today is Tuesday, and I was getting ready this morning, and I thought, what video do I want to do today? I've got several in my mind that I want to do, and then this morning I went ahead and got together just a little bullet point list of our move-in and just some of the things that I wanted to tell you, good and bad. It is just impossible right now for me to have a successful morning. I've got Bridget up here now, pacing around, crying. You cannot make her happy unless you are literally sitting there with her. It's like a baby. You have to sit there with her until she falls asleep, and then you have to sneak off. When we first moved in, I was warming her blankets in the dryer and then wrapping her up in the blankets, and that was working. And then I think she caught on to me. So I've got her up here. I'm wearing a slip dress today, and I wanted to wear one of my new belts that I got from Nordstrom. I cannot find them. I can't find them anywhere. And I mean, I know they're here, but just the thought of having to look through the boxes downstairs, which they are labeled, but still. I'm hoping that I can find them somewhere else. So I've just got on, I'm just going to go ahead and do an outfit of the day. Right, Reggie? Hey, Chanel. Bubba's here. The only one that's not here is Sassy, and that's because she's on my bed. So I've got on that slip dress from Express. I love it. This is a below the belt, and I do like this, but I wanted the look of the other one. And let me see the shoes. Don't let me get in your way, Chanel. Don't let me get in your way. Okay, and so this is what I had pulled out to wear. Sorry, these are the shoes. The little ones that look like, they're kind of like knockoffs of Bottega's. And I can go ahead and tell you right now, this is coming off. I just don't like it. I don't feel good. And nothing is really going well this morning. Okay, so the first thing, I've got them in no particular order. It was just things I thought of first. Okay, remember when I told you guys we really haven't done that much? I tried to do videos right up until the end, and John had it worked out where the movers were coming over to move us on that Monday. Well, I think that Thursday or Friday, as I was moving things, I was like, oh my gosh, we're not gonna get this done. I think I told you guys this. So they were coming over. I did. They were coming over Sunday to help us. So here comes some of the points. 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be women coming over to help you move. And I don't know, in my mind, I don't know why I thought it was maybe going to be some women to help pack. I don't know. I guess I just didn't think about it. So in come these two guys, sweet as they could be, just worked so hard, and they did everything right. It was just things that I didn't know. But they ended up calling their boss and saying, look, it was going to be like a whole house pack, because we had moved like little things out of every room, but we weren't through with all the closets and stuff like that. Okay. So bottom line, to save money, John and I went and bought boxes at Lowe's, $400 worth of boxes. In my opinion, it is not worth the wardrobe boxes, the ones that you can hang your clothes, unless, now keep in mind, I'm moving 10 minutes down the road. Like literally, I don't even know how many miles, but I moved in between where I used to live and my parents. So it was just like a little move. And so all I ended up doing, we packed a couple of those, unless you're going to pack them up to stay, in the garage, or you're moving like across the country or to another state or something. But like we did, I just picked them up. Oh my goodness. Okay. So we'll see how long she'll sit up here. But, so anyway, we got a couple of those, and we ended up using them just for like some of my extra clothes. But, goodness, you okay? She must have like inhaled something in that little pig nose. And so luckily we didn't waste a lot of money on those. We just kind of brought everything over little bit by little bit. And So we save money that way, but this is something that I would kind of warn you about. if, they packed my kitchen right while I wasn't watching. And they packed every cup. I'm talking Walmart cup, just like I wouldn't care if you took it and just threw it out in the highway. I mean, that's how little I cared about. And they wrapped every cup in big, thick packing paper. And the thing is, I wrote here, get rid of cups, etc. I didn't even want those cups. It was stuff that Brooke, see, you just can't make her happy. It was Brooke had brought home, and just like old cups and everything, because I like to drink out of, this sounds silly, but I like to drink out of styrofoam cups because it's just a thing. It's just a thing. I don't like drinking out of glass. It just kooks me out, and I just don't drink out of cups. So we had just a certain amount of cups that John likes to drink out of, Will likes to drink out of, and then Brooke would always bring home junky cups, and they were just in the cabinet. And so get rid of all of that stuff because they will pack it. And I was unpacking things, and it would be a thing of wrapping paper that big, and in it would be like either a cheesy little cup or like the top of a butter dish. And then in another big wad of paper is the bottom of the butter dish. Now, I know that's how they're supposed to do it, and a lot of you may love it that way, especially if you're moving far away. But if I'd have packed those, I probably would have put some things in the box, then I would have put a layer of the paper, then I would have probably put some more things, went and sat it out there and wouldn't have thought about it. I wouldn't have wasted all that time, boxes, all that kind of stuff. So that's what I would say is just be aware. They're going to pack every little thing. Just, you would not believe the amount of packing paper and boxes that I have. Think about your animals and pets and fence and all that stuff. Okay, we knew when we moved here there's not a fence, but it has a teeny tiny little backyard. So a lot of this will go with me being a woman and John being a man, and he's very much a man and thinks like it, and I'm very much a woman and think like it, and when it comes to issues like this and push comes to shove, we do not think alike. And thank goodness we love each other and we respect each other, so it never gets out of hand. But keep in mind that your priorities are going to be so different. What he thought was important was totally different than what I thought was important. What I thought was important, he thought was stupid. So every time I said, we need to get that fence. I mean, we had this house, the rental house, a week before we started moving in. And I kept saying, we need to get the backyard, some type of little fence. Bridget's small, and she doesn't like jump on a fence. So all we need is that little garden type fence. You know what I mean? And that you just stick in the ground. And she's over half blind, but she will run away. And she's not the kind of dog that's used to walking on a leash. I mean, we have and we do, but she hates it. We only do it when we have to. Okay, so the first couple days we're moving here is fine because we're kind of going back and forth. Okay, I just put her downstairs, you guys. I want to cry because I haven't cried yet, but I don't have time. I don't have time to cry. I've got somebody coming over here at 10:45 to do something. Anyway, so needless to say, in the midst of the move, we have to bring Bridget over here, and I have like nowhere to put her because I've asked John the whole time to please set up something. Well, he hasn't done it, so he brought one of those. When you guys had kids, did you ever have one of those gates? It makes like it's really for like closing off a room or something. We used to use it to close Will off and keep him away from the fireplace, and he was a climber, so we had to keep him away from things. He brought that here. So I had like a little space of about like a playpen or something, which, I mean, hey, I was thankful for it because if you sat her down in the grass, she would, pee and poop right in the beginning. Then she got where as soon as you put her in there, she started screaming and doing all of her stuff. So that night, I had a meltdown. We had just moved in here. We got all our stuff. John was freaking out. I was gone doing something. He was freaking out for me to get back here, for me to tell the guys where to put the stuff. And so I'm telling them where to put everything. I'm having to hold Bridget the whole time because you can't put her up. She'll just scream the whole time. And plus they were moving stuff in every room. It wasn't like one room at a time. It would be like things everywhere. And then finally when it calmed down, it was time for me to go get the cats. I had borrowed extra cat crates because I don't ever take them all three anywhere. So I had to borrow some from my parents, my mom. And I just sat down on the couch for a minute and I look over and John is unpacking his vitamins and getting his vitamins organized in the cabinet. And here is where you have to just, I wanted to freak out. I felt like there was a million other things that we should be doing other than organizing and putting up your vitamins. But you have to think that is important to him. And so I let it go, but it was just like building up. Then it was dark and I needed to take Bridget out. And so I started looking for the harness to put on her. It wasn't packed up. I realized it was left at the house. And I came in and I was like just about to cry. And I said, this sucks. And then, you know, him being a man, what does that mean? You can't, it's like women, we can't just say a feeling or be upset. They immediately either have to fix it or say, it's not my fault, I've been busting my ass, you know. And I said, you know, it's not about you. I'm just about the situation. So I had to go up to Walmart, buy a harness. I had the leash, I just couldn't find the harness. That is another thing. Think things like that through. Think those things through. The cats, I had to go get them all by myself. We had left the kids' beds there that day because we were getting rid of them. We had gotten them new beds and new mattresses. So when I get back there, all the moving and stuff, all the 4 guys in our house, my cats were freaked out. They were under the bed except for Bubba because nothing freaks him out. He's laying right here sleeping. And so I had to go get them all by myself, bring them home, and they really did good. I was going to try to keep them up here for like the first hour or so, but they just want to be where I am. I told Brooke I am like a pet Christmas tree. Everywhere I go, I have 3 cats and a dog hanging off of me. That is something just really, really, even if you're moving down the street, think about stuff like that. Because in my mind, other things were going to get done. It's like both of you have different things that you expect to be done. Anyway, okay, I did have my sheets washed. Thank you for that. That was a blessing, because like you guys told me, you're going to want to get in the bed. I was so sore. Oh my gosh. My legs were aching so bad. My hamstrings and everything. It was terrible. We were both just worn out. Boxes from the ABC store. Okay, when I used to move when I was young, I would always do that. I would always go get boxes from the ABC store and I would pack my stuff. Well, when you guys told me that, I thought, well, I'm not going to do that because I'd rather just go get bigger boxes. And John had ordered some boxes from Amazon. Well, I went right on up to the ABC, the liquor store, and she was so nice. They weren't even open yet, but they were getting a delivery. And so I, walked up there and asked them, and she gave me a bunch of them, and they were so awesome to bring my makeup over because of the dividers. Like some would have dividers like this, and then some had just really cool dividers like that where I could put like palettes or whatever else in, and they were just the right size for me because even the smaller boxes, plus I didn't have to put them together and stuff, like those guys were doing. So that was an amazing tip. Sorry I didn't listen to you in the beginning, but oh my gosh, that really helped. Oh gosh, okay, this is the main thing that I want to tell you that I did not realize, and I should have. Okay, every time I've ever moved, this is the first time I've ever moved like as a family. Even when John and I moved in that house, we only had Brooke. She had just turned a year. She turned a year old in the rental house while we were building, and we had come from a much smaller house. We had just gotten married like a year before, and we just didn't have a lot of stuff. So it just wasn't the same as this move after, being in a house over 19 years. And so I have always, like, when I moved from apartment to apartment, or even apartment to my first house with my first husband, what I would do is I would move almost everything myself during the day in my car, and then that night he and his friends would either rent a truck or get a truck and bring the furniture over. So I've never had my furniture like professionally moved. So she said, well, maybe we can get it all in one truck. I'll send two. I didn't really think about that. I didn't know they were going to literally get all of our stuff in one truck. They had another little one that I think they might have put a few like mirrors or something in. So I asked the guy, I said, is it okay if I leave all my stuff in the drawers? The only thing I cleaned out was any lingerie or anything, because I didn't want anything crazy happening. And so I had taken that out, but I had some drawers that had some jewelry in it, belts, just lots of stuff in drawers, just like as storage. Well, I didn't know that when they came over, and we'll get up and show you, they like say it's your dresser. Well, they, wrapped it in a blanket, those nice big heavy blankets. And then they take that big, like giant saran wrap or whatever, and then they take your furniture, turn it upside down, and then they throw it in the back of the truck. I mean, it is like the equivalent of your luggage on the plane. When you look over and you see them throwing everybody's luggage. I'm not saying they weren't careful with it, but I'm saying when they opened that truck and got here and I looked up in it, it was like Jenga, with like sofa, dressers, the buffet. It was like put in there all the way up to the ceiling. So my desk, everything like that they brought in, there was stuff just like coming out of it. All of my jewelry, like all of my necklaces, I had them like in a tray. They were all out, like in the next drawer, and the next drawer under it, tangled. I still have a bunch of them that are tangled. And that is my fault, because I should have known that. I should have taken it out, but I just didn't think. I'm always used to, like two guys carrying it like this and like putting it, the right side up in a truck or something. I wasn't used to, or had never seen a truck like packed like that. I mean, remember, I've lived here in Wilmington my whole life, and my parents still live in the house that we moved into. We built it when I was 6 years old. So I just don't have a lot of experience with like moving, big like that. So, that is a big thing that I learned, is get all of your jewelry and everything out. See, I figured we're moving 10 minutes down the road. It's no big deal. They just sit in the back of the truck. I mean, So here's another thing too. I kept asking John. He kept getting on my nerves and I kept getting on his. And how I kept getting on his was, I kept saying, he has like a truck, like a normal guy's truck, like not a big one, not a real small one, a normal truck. And I said, why don't you rent a U-Haul, like a U-Haul truck? So I think I nagged him enough until he went and got it. But for some reason, it was $20-some a day. For some reason, he could not wait to get that truck back. He said he hated driving it. So he took it back before we were even moved in here. And so I think, me nagging him about the truck. And then when I went back to the house after we had paid them to move us in here, and we paid and everything, which was a couple $1,000s, when I went back to the house and saw how much stuff was left there, I almost had a meltdown. I had to hide it because I didn't want to make him feel bad. I could not believe how much stuff was still at the house. So I started nagging him about getting them to come back. I kept thinking, you need to get those guys to come back. You need to get those guys to come back. And he kept saying, I don't need them. I can handle it. Give me a chance to handle it. And finally, I think I said it one too many times, and he looked at me and said, would you quit saying that? I will handle it. But of course now, now he doesn't. Now he's aching all over. And to me, it is just so much worth it to pay somebody to do it than to hurt your back or something. Especially, I mean, he's almost 60. He'll be 60 in January. So just, woo, I mean, you just don't think alike at all. Okay, plenty of time. Try to overlap your time. It took us all week. Luckily, we closed yesterday. I went and signed the papers yesterday, Monday. I think they were going today to sign. It's not like it used to be where you all sit down and sign it together. And it took us all week to get everything out of there, which we did have like an estate sale guy come and get a lot of the stuff that we didn't want. So that helped a lot. And then John worked his butt off. I mean, he worked his butt off. And I really wanted him to have some help, but he did not want any help. So between the two of us, we got everything moved. We have Molly maids, and they cleaned the house. They do like a move out clean. So that helped a lot. And so it really helps to have that whole week or more. Don't think you're going to get it done. It just took so much longer than I thought, is I guess what I'm saying. Okay, the internet. John had it where he did not turn on the internet here until the day we were starting to move. And if I were you, I would get it turned on if you can and get it going before you get in the house, especially if you're like us. Both of us have home businesses, and so that was stressful for him to get the routers going and all that kind of stuff. So that's something I would do. And cash for tips, because we tipped them, like, I don't even know how much. That last day, we had to tip them pretty big because they were, they worked for like 4 hours. So keep your tip money. Junk drawers. Okay, I don't know, this may be, I had 2 junk drawers. They consisted of pads of paper, pens, pencils, highlighters, and they were not in neat little things. They were real old school junk drawers. Cat brushes, cat comb, just all kinds of nail files, nail clippers, anything, all that little miscellaneous stuff that you need in the kitchen. And they just poured them into the box. They put like a layer of tissue paper on top of some cups and poured them in there. Whereas I probably would have at least poured them into a bag and then put them in there. So I've got those that I need to go through them anyway. It's not any big deal, but just heads up, that's what will happen with your junk drawers. And then I wrote, are your dishes, glasses expensive or precious? Wrap them yourself. I do have some china, like some Nautica china that my grandmother bought me when we moved in that house. And I love it, and I'm glad that they wrapped it up. But my Fiesta ware, each plate did not need to be wrapped. That's my fault. I should have known. I could have easily, hindsight, I probably would have picked those suckers up. I have like 2 place settings. I probably would have brought them over or put them in some of those ABC or liquor store boxes. I don't know. Do they call it the ABC store anywhere but North Carolina? I don't know. So that is about it for my tips on moving. And oh my goodness, you guys, it has been bittersweet. When we went back to the house yesterday to do the final thing, I didn't cry. Brooke cried. Will has been okay. I could tell it upset him a little bit. And so that was just a little something, just to have to leave it and everything. This house is very nice, but it's not anywhere I'd want to live for a long time, which is fine. It's just a rental house until we build our house. And the backyard is very small. And today I stepped in poop when I took Bridget out. Didn't know it till I came back in, had walked all around the living room, into the laundry room, and that's when I looked down and saw the leaves and the pine straw hanging out from underneath my shoe, which really was a blessing because I didn't get it around as much as I thought. So it has just been like one thing after another like that. But all in all, it's been good. It's just been a big adjustment. I'm sorry that my right thing wasn't turned on the other day. I think we fixed the sound recording. A lot of you did not like the pictures behind me. I'm sorry. I mean, it's just going to take a little bit. Please be patient with me to get everything going and, get back in my routine. I just wanted to show you these things real quick because I'm wearing them today. I had some time. The attorney's office was right in the area of Ulta yesterday, and I had a little bit of time, so I ran in Ulta. I picked up this foundation, which is the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better Foundation and Skincare, and the color I got is perfect. It's medium warm, and that's what I have on today, and it is very nice. I'll see how it wears, but it just went on very, very nice. I mean, just great coverage, everything. Okay, I have to apologize to Kim Kardashian and KKW Beauty, because yesterday when I was in there, I bought this little, it's like little kits that are out for Christmas. It was a little lip liner kit, and this one is so good. It's called Classic Icon, and that's what I've got on today. And then they had a little kit with her glosses, and I've got on the Nude 1.5. I love it. So that was fun to find. I always love finding new lip stuff. And then Sweet Lisa J sent me her new eye palette. Let's see if you can see it. From BK Beauty, and I used this today, and it is so pretty. If you like, it's really got a good array of browns. I started with that one, I used some of that, I used some of that, I used some of that and that. But if you like purples and purpley browns, you will love this. It's very pretty. This one, I'm looking forward to using it too. This is going to be more of a cooler tone. That would be a great like cut crease color. So I'll be using this more. And so thank you, Lisa. This is beautiful, and I loved it, and I think it created a very pretty eye. And then Jenny Bird, I've got on, let's see, what is it called? The Tony cuff and the Tony like collar. It's really pretty. All of this new jewelry from her is just gorgeous. You will love it. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you really soon. Bye-bye.